everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Market Recap. This is Coach Lloyd. I'm with Lou Web Trading. Welcome back to everyone. Hopefully, you had a great trading day today. A bit of a slower day. I mean, we had a few moves. The moves were quick. The moves were very very quick. There was not much time to really wait for anything like you didn't really have any time to wait for confirmation on anything. The moves happen quick. Once you see it, you just had to take it, be brave and take it. If not, you would have to just stay on the sideline. What I'll tell you guys right now, for me, that was one of those days where I stayed on the sideline. I was not comfortable with what was going on, specifically the fact that we were at a strong support level and the market was going down. I did not feel comfortable taking that trade, so I did it. You know, you don't have to take every trade. It's not necessary for you to take every trade. That's just the way it is. So if you don't feel like taking a trade, you're not confident about what the market is doing, stay on the sideline. All right. Like sometimes the best trade you can take is actually no trade at all. Excuse me, guys. I'd like to apologize in advance. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today. I was not sure I was going to come on, and then I said, you know what? This is my commitment to you guys. When I said I'm going to show up, sometimes showing up is half the job, right? So I committed to show up and do this from Monday through Friday to come up and do that market review, and that's what I'm going to do. Um, I keep on doing this the same way you guys keep showing me some love, keep showing up here and giving me some views and some likes and things like that. That's the commitment I also have to you guys as well. I have to keep showing up. Just before we get started here, anything I say is not any suggestions for you to buy, hold, or sell. Understand that trading carries a lot of risk and may include loss of capital. Anything you do, you are doing at your own risk. I do this for educational purposes. Feel free to do your own research and base things on anything that you've done, the research that you do. What I do here is not telling you how to trade, what to buy, and what to sell. What I do is review just no BS, no fluff. We just review the technical and I'm just saying, hey, this is what I think the market is going to do. I do not have a crystal ball. I wish I had one, but I don't. But what I do give you is the probabilities of what might happen and go over the chart specifically so you guys can see what's going on. And as usual, we're going to start with Bitcoin. We typically start with Bitcoin here. There's not much going on. I don't think I'm going to spend too much time on Bitcoin here. I mean, we're still in the same zone that we've been. I mean, this is getting boring. I mean, boring is good, I guess. And that's expected for Bitcoin when you sort of like think about we all waiting. I think everybody's waiting for what the Fed does, and then not only what the Fed does, what does Jerome Powell says. That's the key, right? Are we setting up? Are we getting sort of like I mean, the good thing is like we're done with QT, so we move into the QE phase. QT, that's quantitative tightening, so the Fed is not spending money. Now we're gonna start cranking up the old machine again. Start printing more money. Not good for your money in the bank, right? But it's good for the stock market. It's good for crypto when the Fed is printing money and getting engaged and getting involved, right? So we having that. Now, if we have more of a hawkish cut, sort of like they cut and then they have a lot of reservation about this, about that, we don't know what might happen, right? So I will be trading very, very carefully. I'm not married. I'm not getting married to any position. Anything I have currently, almost everything besides my ETFs, everything has stop losses. Every single, even my lip calls. For the first time ever, I'm putting stop losses on my lip calls, and I'll tell you why. News came out that the labor department has decided they will cancel releasing the inflation data. which was supposed to come out, I believe, was that tomorrow or Thursday, later this at some point. They have decided to cancel that, and that does not make me feel good, because if they canceling the data, there's no way it's good, right? That's the way I'm looking at. That's the way I perceive that. That's the way I'm reading that. You're free to read that a different way, but that's the way I'm reading it. I've never seen any administration that withholds good news when they have it, especially when you're in a moment where you might need good news. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's jump in the chart and just look at what's going on here. We're looking at Bitcoin again in the 4 hours. There's nothing going on. Absolutely, this is a dud. Um, we briefly try to go and take that level, that strong level. We briefly try to go and take it, and we couldn't. We reject. The sellers came in, or the bears came in, and they took control of this, and they took control with authority. I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness, they took control with authority here. So that's the 2 hours. And if we look at the MACD, again, not much has changed. MACD is sort of like going sideways currently in the 4 hour. If we try to dig in a little bit, again, there's no real pattern really emerging. If you really want to force it, you could say, hey, we just have a left shoulder head and a right shoulder that just happened here. But then again, that's forcing it. And this is something that's happening again. It's not just about the pattern that we see, but it's also where that pattern is taken. I want to emphasize on that, guys. Let me emphasize on that. When you trading, it's not just about the patterns. It's not just about what you see on the chart. It's also where it's happening. All right. I really wanted to emphasize on that. This is why I got that close up. All right. Um, uh, that's very important, and I'm going to go into why I said what I said specifically. So if you're looking here, right? So this line that represents the 200-day moving average. So while we do have that pattern happening, we are a strong support level. And the fact that we are a strong support level, this does not carry the same weight as if you had this move was being done right up there, right at the resistance level. All right. So this is what I mean by that. So when it comes to that, I'm sort of like looking at it. It's like, okay, well, it is possible that we could go down, but just keep in mind this move is being made at a not only it's being made at a support level, but if you're looking at on that's like the micro move, but the macro move is showing an inverted head and shoulder pattern, right? That's what we're seeing here. The macro move is showing an inverted head and shoulder pattern, right? So we have a bit of a difference there, but this is the macro move. That's the micro move. So be careful again how you trade in that. Going into ETH real quick. ETH not moving very much so far. Not really doing the exact same pattern as Bitcoin. Not going to waste too much time going into it. Let's get in the stock market. Let's see exactly what happened today. If we go in the queues, okay, we go in the queues. Let's see what we did in the queues. This is the work that we did today. Where's my chart? There you go. Come on. Okay, let me make sure I get this right for you guys. There you go. So this is what happened, right? So this is what I've been telling you guys. I just don't like what's going on in the market lately. I'm not a big fan. Oh, by the way, I haven't mentioned I haven't mentioned that if you're here, please smash the like button for me. Let's get those likes up. This is where we closed yesterday. We gapped up, right? We gapped up. Right at the open, we pushed up actually we pushed up right at the open. We went to 628, what at the open, and 628 is what? That's that trend line that I have That's right here. That's on the daily. That's that trend line on the daily. This is where we went, right? Go back on the 30 minutes. So we sort of went there, and then but that's the main support resistance level that we had set up. We've been had that level of resistance set up right here, and what happened? I mean, that was a strong rejection, man. That rejection was vicious. Let's see if we go in the 5 minute, we see exactly what happened there. Okay. So if you're not patient, right? So let's say you're not patient. You somebody who you get overly excited and you FOMO in right at this level saying, hey, we're getting a breakout. That's the first 5 minutes of the trading day. What do I keep saying to you guys? The first 5 minutes of the trading session, you don't trade. Just let the market take a direction. As of right now, it's chaos. It's pure chaos. There's no direction. Anything anyone does at those levels is just literally guessing. These are 50-50. That's not trading. I'm calling those gambling. Literally, when you do that, right? So once it does that after the first 5 minutes, we thought we were going to, just rally up in one, and then what happens? Again, my opinion with those big topping tails, and after we had this crazy push up, institutions are offloading. They offloading risk, and then we drop, and then we spend the rest of the morning, early morning, pretty much dropping and whatever. We did a bit of a retest right all the way, I could say, a nice little retest all the way back at around 1:30, drop, and then right before the market closed, we had a push. We had a push happen right before the market closed. So that's what we're looking at. Going back on the 30 minutes again, so we see what's happening again. Um, if we look at it, here's the good news. I do have a 4 hour, I believe that is that a 4 hour 30 minutes trend line. I have this trend line that's here. We actually reclaimed that trend line, and in the after hours market, one of the things we can see is also reclaimed the moving averages. Not only we've done that, you can see the 9 EMA, which is the blue line, have given that golden cross with the 21 EMA. So we're not looking too bad. And if we check for the 2 hours again, you can see we're rallying back up. These are all good signs, right? All good signs. Because one of the main thing, once we had this drop, right? Once we had this drop, the biggest thing I was looking for is by the end of the day, can not only reclaim the trend line, but actually close above this previous resistance zone, right? Remember that previous resistance zone that we spent a few time trying to take, and we could not take it. That was the other part that was very important, and it seems like we finally have taken that. So that we actually took that by the end of the day. So that is great. If we look in the 4 hours, again in the 4 hours, here's what I'm looking at. I don't feel particularly great with what's setting up here. I know some people might see that and say, hey, big red bearish candle. You have doji at the bottom, reversal candle at the bottom. Then we have that. Maybe you might want to call that a morning star. um, but let's take a quick look. Let's go on YouTube. Let's look at this pattern. Um, as I say YouTube, I meant up. I meant to say on Google. If we up morning star candlestick pattern. Okay, there you go. So you see what the morning star looks like, right? Let me try to zoom in just in case some of you are maybe on your phone or whatever it may be, so you could see it. All right. When somebody's looking at the morning star, this is where I'm gonna do a little, just a little teaching. Okay, guys, just a little bit. Um, when somebody's looking at the morning star pattern, this is the part that no one mentioned. What's the most? I mean, if you're not If you don't know, you may not know it. What actually is common between all of those, beside having obviously having three candles, you have a doji at the bottom and bearish and a green candle. You may not really pay attention to that, and most people don't talk about it. Is the fact that this green bullish candle always cover at least 50% of this candle. It must close above 50% of this candle. And this is the issue I have with this candle, right? So when we zoom in and we're looking at this candle, does this candle, right, that bullish candle, does that looks like it has actually covered 50% of this candle? No, it did not. It did not do it. So I'm a little skittish about that. But then again, we do have a couple of few other things that's in our favor because we are at a trend line support level. We close at support level, so that may still help us push up. Um, I mean, but the probability of us making that move once again to go test this trend line again, the probability might be, I'd say, on more on the range of a 60-40, as opposed to what I would feel more comfortable saying, hey, like end of day, I didn't take a trade on that, like a swing trade on it to say, hey, I'm confident that tomorrow we most likely going to pop tomorrow, and this would be more like a 75, 75% probability. This is what we do. What we do, we're trying to find our edge, trying to see where we can find any little edge, find the patterns, see where we can make some money. And again, we are still, when we go and look at the daily, right? What are we doing in the daily? I don't like this. I'm going to keep saying that, guys. I do not like this. All here again, I don't think anything's going to happen until we see what Powell said and whether or not we get a cut. Not much is going to happen. However, the biggest thing is I don't like those candles. Those candles seems like we're seeing weakness. We're seeing weakness at this level. We can call it consolidation. Consolidation is weakness, right? So maybe we'll gain some momentum after that. But as of right now, we're seeing weakness in the chart at a resistance level, right? Because right now we're doing, this was the high, and we're doing a lower high at this level. So this is what I'm currently looking at. If we look at the spy was actually a little worse. Because if we look at what the SPY is actually doing, the good thing again, the SPY has broken this trend line. We're still outside of the trend line. I mean, it seems like we wanted to come in to test this 9 EMA. We didn't, not fully, right? We didn't do that fully, but this is what sort of seems like we might be getting right at this level. But you can see that this is a bearish candle. I do not like this. I don't like this when I'm getting those right at resistance level. But then again, all roads lead to Jerome Powell, to Fed Powell. So if Powell come in and we have a nice rate cut, I mean, we know we're getting a 25 basis point cut, right? So we get a 25 basis point cut, and then it's all about what does that man say. What does that mean say? Because right now we already know inflation is going higher. People are losing jobs. The economy is not strong. We don't have a strong economy. So we have a lot riding on this Fed meeting. Okay, now if we go back and check on gold, seems like gold is still holding. Gold say, hey, you know what? I want to take every single day to consolidate right on that little angle before I decide to make a move. So there's not much going on. The good news again, you can see the 9 EMA on GLD once again is holding. The 9 EMA is holding, so we have to appreciate that on gold. If we go and look at the VIX, what did I say yesterday, guys? This is what I was talking about. Although it seems like there was no life whatsoever with the VIX, no life with the VIX, as we were making this drop. What did I say yesterday? The fact that we are so far away from the 9 EMA, I would not be surprised, although we doesn't seem like we have any life, if we do get a pullback right to the 9 EMA on the VIX, and that's exactly what we got today. It gapped up and went right to the 9 EMA. Got the 9 EMA. Are we going to get? Is that the pullback? Is that the pullback we've been looking for? Maybe. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right? I don't know. So we'll see exactly what happened. Let's take a quick look at the S&P futures right now. That's the S&P 500 futures. Let's take a quick look at that and see how we currently doing. I mean, this is so bad we can't even see it. I have to remove some of these things on the chart just so we can see what's going on. Let me turn off my indicators, right? So that way you guys can see what's going on here. Look at this little candle. I mean, but the daily candle does not look very good, right? The daily can, as a matter of fact, I mean, if you want to stretch it, you can say this is the close below resistance. We broke resistance, close above it, continuation, but with a big topping tail because like we have this area here that's really a problem area, strong resistance, and we came here, we tap in that area. So let's see if we can see. Let me make sure we can see the chart properly, right? So we see what's happening exactly. What at that level, right? So you can see we're making that V, right? That head and shoulder pattern. We can see we're making that there, but at the same time, we can't also completely ignore the fact that it may just do something like this also, right? Because remember, we having a lot of bad news. Companies are firing a lot of people. The market is not very strong. All right. Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to look at, I'm gonna keep start dribbling, just giving those out every single meeting now, every single live. I'm gonna give one. I'm gonna choose one of the companies I'm looking at. One of the companies I've been looking at, actually, fair disclosure, I already have a position in that. Is Nvidia, right? So I bought Nvidia at this level. I had that pop. I took some off. We dropped. When we came right here, because the way I saw it, because I already had this already drawn out, right? So when we had this drop to that level, again, right here I added, we had that pop, took some off again. We went through here, added again because that's strong support level. And then we had this big pop. I remove exposure again. Then actually I don't even recall exactly. I think it was that day we had that big drop when this happened. So you can see again what are we doing again? This was the same thing that we did here. This was a falling wedge. All right. Let's take a quick look at that. Let's see what a falling wedge is. Uh, Falling wedge pattern. This is a bullish pattern. That's a falling wedge pattern. This is exactly what happens in a falling wedge. Then you're supposed to have that move, and you're going to see it on the chart, right? So there you go. You have that. You have that channel down. It does this, did a retest, break, retest the trend line, and then eventually, if you stayed in long enough, you captured that move. All right. You captured that move. What are we doing? What are we doing once more? This is why I bought it again from here. The way I'm looking at it is like, hey, we're retesting that level, right? So if you look at it, this is another falling wedge, right? So I bought in again. I added. I was already in because I always keep at least one or two contracts of Nvidia on my leap calls. So I added right at that level, and again, seems like we're making that move, right? And you can see how the buyer just stepped up. Hey, here's the thing about Nvidia. All right, guys. Let me talk to you guys directly. The thing about Nvidia, the way the market works, There's you have the Mag Seven stocks, right? These are the big guys, like the Teslas, Googles, Amazon, and so forth, right? You going to see those stocks never won crazy all at the same time. The way they play the market, right? You just have to know how this works. The way they play the market, you might have two or three just warming up, but a couple of them might just be silent, just they just dormant, they just stay there, they consolidate a little bit, and then once they pull that all the way up, and then retail came in, and then they dump it on our heads, right? Boom. They start dropping the ones that was going up. They don't drop them all the way down, but let's say it went up 30%, they might pull it back down, say 15, 20%, or 10% as the fall correction, right? Then when it's dropped to that level, now you're going to see the ones that was there moving just start moving. All right. That's the game I'm giving you guys right now. Just make sure you go on the chart and go and look at that. One thing you're going to see when if you look at the Nasdaq, look at the Nasdaq what it's doing. When the Nasdaq is moving, not all the big tech stock move at the same time. There's not enough money to push all of them at the same time. The big money just get behind one specific one or two, three stocks, and they push them up. They push them up. You have some stocks that stay dormant, and then when they done, they move, right? Because remember, doing the most of the year, Google and Apple did absolutely nothing. What was killing it? The Teslas, it was Nvidia, it was Netflix, Meta. Those companies were killing it. Microsoft wasn't doing much, and Google wasn't doing much. Right? You see what this is what Nvidia is currently doing. So I'm already in at this level. That's from the falling wedge. Not asking it, telling anybody to get in or not, but I'm in, I'm holding. And guess what? Actually, I think after hours, it seems like we also had a big pop after hours because Trump has just announced that he told Xi Nvidia will be allowed to sell chips to them once again, which is going to be extra revenue. Nvidia already forecasted a great growth and high revenue. The forecast was a beat from what Wall Street was expected, and that did not include not a penny from China. So all the extra money they're going to make from China, this is new money, right? This is new money, and on top of that, they also, I believe, they're discussing some sort of deal. If I check it, that should pop up. They are discussing. I believe it's let me give me one quick second here, guys. Let me get that information from you guys for you guys. That had popped up right on my okay. Well, you know what? I'm not seeing it. I'm just going to let it be. Okay, there you go. There you go. They are negotiating a $14 billion deal with SoftBank. They are exploring some major investment with SoftBank. So this is what we're pretty much looking at right now. Actually, you know what? I didn't have that on. All right. So there you go. That's what we're looking at. We saw the falling wedge. We saw where Nvidia is. Nvidia is one of those companies that I still think that has a lot of room to move. If we're looking at where it is right now, I mean that's a nice little pullback, almost 20%. That was almost into bear territory, so Nvidia is definitely going to make a move, right? And I had mentioned Apple to you guys. Let me show you the Apple chart. You'll see what I was talking about. While Nvidia was doing all the one it was doing, this is what Apple was doing, right? For a couple of months, Apple just pretty much went sideways, did absolutely nothing, absolutely nothing, went sideways. What did you see from the Nvidia chart? Nvidia has been going down or consolidating. What exactly has Apple been doing? Apple just been just grinding up. Apple just been grinding up like crazy. Look at that. Look at that move. Now, if we go into Alphabet, Alphabet, that's Google's um, parent company. Yeah. If we go into Alphabet, same thing. Same thing into Alphabet, right? Alphabet was going up, but it was sort of like grinding up a little bit. line it up a little bit. That's what Alphabet was doing. And you can see I have all these in my charts already because I was able to catch some good trade. I got out a little too early. That's too bad, but you can't go broke. You cannot blow your account taking profit, right? I got out a little early. I'll be honest with that. That was one of my biggest mistakes, just closing that leaves. There was no reason for me to close that. And then Google just keep on. I believe I got out around after we had that complete break. We started having a couple of dojis right around this level. No, actually, I'm lying. Like right around this level. I got out. I meant to get back in around here and I didn't. I completely forgot about it. And you can see what happens, right? Guess what? Don't be surprised if you see for the almost for the next couple of months, you just see Alphabet does this, went down a little bit, it just whatever. And in the meantime, what exactly you think you're going to see? You're going to see the likes of Nvidia, the likes of Microsoft, which is taking a bath, right? Again, this is what those are doing. Why do I have this trace the way I do again? Is because the falling wedge is a pattern I really like to trade. It's a proven pattern, and I really, really like to trade that pattern. I well, let me just say, likes is an understatement. I love trading that pattern, right? Even if let's say I want to update this falling wedge, so this would be right here, and take that right from the top. That's the falling wedge, and now you have a bit of a trend line, little mini trend line forming, like right at that level. You can see that. All right. This is all about all I got for you guys for today. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you did, please smash the like button. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Again, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to shame you guys and ask you to really smash the like button for me because I'm showing up here and I'm under the weather. You might hear that I sound a bit a bit out of it. But that's my commitment. My commitment is to show up. And when you have a sometimes making a commitment with yourself, showing up it is half of the work. I didn't think I could get through this the way I thought I just did. But guess what? I did, right? I did anyway. This is why you show up sometimes because you never know. Once you show up and you're doing something, you never know. Some way, somehow, you find something within yourself and then you go to it. For those of us who want sometimes or goes to the gym, think about how many times you start running and you get to a point, right? You get to a point where you feel like you're completely tired, you got nothing left in the tank, and you just give it that one last push, right? And before you know it, you went another 1 or 2 miles, none without stopping, right? How many times for you guys to go to the gym and you think you got nothing left, and then you do another 3 reps? That's sometimes that's just the way it is. Or maybe for those of you who likes to go to the bar, how many times you think you were completely out of it? You didn't think you couldn't handle it anymore, and you took another 2 shots and still made it home safe, right? So, but anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you guys again tomorrow afternoon. It's too bad, by the way. My apologies. That video did not show up. I actually recorded the video, but the video had no sound. Once again, I forgot to turn on my mic, unfortunately. But that video is coming regarding trading the 9 EMA. That will be coming soon. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Peace.